The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And hello, everybody. Welcome into a Wednesday episode of Running Point. Anthony Hartwig alongside Scotty, like we are every Wednesday. Got a packed show for you today. We're going to have me and Scotty talk for a little bit, but then we have 3 interviews that we're going to play for you guys today. More Canfield softball players, Gianna Panunzio and Kara Spencer. Their pre-recorded interviews are going to play, and then we also have a very special interview from a member of the 2016 state runner-ups from South Range, Carrie and Yannick, their pitcher that took them all the way to a state championship appearance in 2016. At the time, was the first state championship appearance by South Range softball. Now they've been in 3. We can talk about South Range being in their 3rd state tournament since 2016, but it was nice to reflect a little bit on their first run to state. So that's going to be a fun interview to get you guys to listen to as well. Scotty, how we doing today?
I'm good, feeling good. I feel like I got good energy today, and I know it's not officially summer yet, but it feels like it's here. I'm hearing no rain for like the next 10 days,
We're
possibly
like in a drought,
longer.
which almost never happens in Northeast Ohio. We're in a drought. We've had I think DePaulo on yesterday's weather report said we're 2 inches below the average for May.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I ain't
pretty
complaining.
uncharted waters.
Scotty, before the show, Anthony got hit with some humble pie, and life humbles you a lot. We usually have our names on the bottom left hand corner, and this is I don't change it. It's been like this for a long time. But Scotty pointed out just today that I've been going as Anthony Dartwig for a while.
Yeah, for a while.
Don't know how long that's been like that. I haven't changed the name in a long time, so I've probably been Anthony Dartwig for a long time and just never really noticed it or been called on it. So, woo! Anytime you're feeling yourself, life is going to really hit you with some humble pie, smack dab in the head. Perfect time to talk about my misspelling. Scotty, there's a lot of excitement right now in the Lakeview community for their baseball team, who is playing in the regional semifinals tomorrow against South Range at 5 o'clock. But also there's a Lakeview student, 13-year-old Johnny Constantine, that has advanced to the 6th round of the National Spelling Bee. He won the WFMJ Spelling Bee back in March, and when you win that, they sponsor you to go compete in the National Spelling Bee in Maryland. And this kid's kicking butt. He's in the 6th round. He's, I think, in the semifinals with 55 other students around the nation. Is it nation? It's national, not world. So around the country. So he's down in the last 55. And man, I can't even spell my own last name.
Well, yeah,
I did not win many spelling bees.
Don't feel bad. I mean, I did win a class. We did this around. I was probably in 5th or 6th grade, and we did like a class spelling bee, and I won that. But then I went up against the whole school and I only lasted like a few rounds, and I was very disappointed. So I know how you feel, Anthony.
The only I feel like the words you miss in spelling bees stick with you, because I still remember the word that I missed that got me kicked out of the South Range spelling bee when I competed in it, and it was difficult. It's misspelled
Difficult.
difficult. Like it's
Okay.
like it wasn't like no, the word was difficult. So
Yeah.
I still remember not spelling that right. Something about spelling bees haunt people for the rest of their lives because I still remember the word I missed, and a lot of people remember the words they missed in spelling bees. So, do you
Yeah,
remember the
for
word that
sure.
you missed
Mine
that you
was
eliminated?
mine. I think back on it now, and I'm like, man, that was a layup. But mine was furniture.
That's not a layup. How old were you?
Uh, Again, probably I want to say I was maybe 11, 12.
Man, when I was 11, I'd probably spell out with an E, like fern, like furniture. Like, come on.
Yeah, I
You
think
would-
that's what I
and then it's
did.
got the TURE. That's not a layup for an 11-year-old.
Yeah, it seems like it now, but I guess it wasn't back then
You
for
know
sure.
when I messed up with difficult is I maybe it's the way I used to say it or the way that people around me said it. Difficult to me ended with a OLT. I thought it was difficult. Difficult. It's difficult with a U. So I spelled
Yeah.
it DIFFICOLT. Difficult.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The O instead of the
Yep.
U.
Yep.
Like,
Gone.
yeah,
Gone.
see you later.
See you later.
Yeah.
That buzzer that you're wrong. Get off the stage.
Yep. Thank you. Don't
Thank you
come
for
back.
playing. You do not come back. And I never got back to the school round. So I got out of the classroom because I think every school kind of does it the same way, or at least did it the same way when I was a kid. You have a class spelling bee. If you win the class spelling bee, you go and you compete against the school, and then if you win that, I don't know where you go because I never even got close to that. But um, I won the class spelling bee once, and in the school one, I got kicked out with difficult, and then I never won the class one again. Shattered my confidence. You know, my spelling career ended before it started. I had the yips.
Yeah, well,
Hey,
we're
some
more
people are built
alike.
for the pressure. Some people are built for the pressure, and some people aren't. Scotty, what can you say?
Yeah, well, we're more alike than we know in that regard because, again, I also won my class one, but then lost the school one. And I feel like I haven't been the same since.
I haven't been the same since. It's ruined me. But back to the main point. Congratulations to Lakeview student Johnny Constantine for advancing to the sixth round of the spelling bee in Maryland. We were wishing you the best of luck. I know Lakeview's behind you. And man, what a time to be a Bulldog. You got your baseball team in a regional semifinal against a very familiar opponent in South Range. And then now you got a 13-year-old that's kicking butt in the spelling bee and bringing a lot of pride to not just the Lakeview community, but our community. I wasn't kicking butt in anything at 13. So congratulations to Johnny, and we wish him the best of luck. We wish Lakeview baseball the best of luck as they get ready for their regional run. They played last night, Scotty, a little bit of regional tune-up, and they got exposed to a really, really good Hoban team that beat them 10-0. But I think that'll be really good for Lakeview to come a little bit down to earth and refocus a little bit before this regional, before this regional final,
Yeah, you get
semifinal, excuse me.
you talked about earlier about you getting that humble pie, but sometimes when you take that L, it's just good to be able to kind of sit back and recharge the batteries a little bit and um, get, like you said, get refocused. Iron sharpens iron, so.
Some other games that happened last night as tournament tune-ups that will count towards the regular season record for all these teams because they still had plenty of regular season games to play. Remember that OHSA gives you 27 So a lot of teams like to keep a couple in their pocket for tournament runs. South Range Baseball got the win last night over Warren JFK, 10-4 the final score in that one. And then South Range Softball also went up to Hoban to play Talmadge on Hoban's turf to try to get both those teams ready for the turf field they're going to play on at Firestone. And it was Talmadge that got the win over South Range in walk-off fashion, 5-4, with 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. So both those teams in state and every team that played in baseball last night getting ready for a regional. It's exciting times.
Yeah, it is exciting times, man. Just to be, I remember, like even in Lowville when we would have good baseball teams and really good girls basketball teams, and I just as a fan, I get like super excited. I can't even imagine what it's like being, an athlete and being part of it. So
Well, we're gonna hear from a couple of them today, and we're gonna get to those because we have 3 of them to get to. We want to get to all 3 interviews, so we're gonna start with the Canfield seniors, and we're gonna hit with Gianna Panunzio first, and then we will hit up Kara Spencer after. So here is a player profile with Canfield senior Gianna Panunzio on Running Point. As always, this show brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig here with another Canfield softball player profile. I feel like we've been spending a lot of time with this team over the last couple of weeks, and we're joined by another senior in Gianna Panunzio. Gianna, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Man, what is this? I mean, let's reflect on this season. Obviously, you got to regionals last year. You fell a little bit short, and I know this was a goal all year to get back to regionals and take the next step. So take us through first some of the off-season goals that you set and some of the work that you put in to make sure that this team was able to not just get back to regionals, but take the next step.
Yeah, so in the off season, we set the goals. We had a few goals. So one of them being to win the AAC, and then another big goal was to make it to where we are now and to win state, hopefully. So, we've worked really hard and we've prepped since October to get there. So we're really looking forward to it, and we're really appreciative that we get this opportunity to be here.
One of the things that Coach Kernan really brings up a lot are the fact that there were OHSA regulations changed, which lets you guys work a lot together in the off season, with games in the Watts Center, games at Sluggers, whatever it may be. How much do you think that helped you guys not just prepare for the season, but also build even a stronger bond as a team?
Yeah, in the off season, we definitely got really close. We were together a lot since probably, I don't know, October maybe. So we did a lot together. We went to yoga, and after we would go out to eat, or we went to jump stretch, and we would drive together, and we just do a lot of activities and kind of get to know each other in the off season. And it kind of gave us a little groove and got us familiar and ready for the season.
That is a lot of time with the same people. Obviously, you have to love this team, but who are some people that maybe you think that you've gotten to know a lot better this year than years past because of those extra time that you spend bonding with the team?
Yeah, I think the incoming freshmen, Leah and Jenna, I've gotten to know really well. They have great personalities and they're super outgoing, so they definitely add a lot of energy to our team. And yeah.
Both those players that you brought up, Leah and Jenna, have come into this program with 8 seniors on the team and have never once seemed like they were small or, insignificant. They have jumped right into impacting this team on a big level. From your perspective and the 8 seniors' perspective, what was it like bringing in new faces like those freshmen to kind of establish a standard to this program?
Yeah, I mean, every year someone new is going to come in, and I think they've done a great job of, coming in and playing their role. I mean, Jenna's a great leadoff, and that's hard to do as a freshman. It's a big role, and Leah's our catcher, and she has a great personality, and her energy is just like what she brings to the team, and she adds all the energy. It's huge for us, and so it's been really great getting, adding them onto our team.
To have the impact that they've had, obviously they've had to be confident in themselves as freshmen. When you see them play, how much do you reflect on yourself as a freshman and some of the things that you look back on when you stepped onto the softball field as a freshman?
Yeah, for when I was a freshman, I I was really nervous. I definitely was. I was nervous because the big field, it was just really, I guess, I don't know how to explain it, but like it was hard to get familiar with and like a whole new team, a whole new environment. So I think they're doing a really good job. It definitely reminds me of myself because I've been there, but they're doing a really great job. Brand new people, brand new team, and they're stepping up and doing a good job.
What were some experiences from your freshman year that you were able to share or, lean on to give them advice like, hey, I went through this, so I know what you're going through?
Yeah, I think freshman year, the thing that I struggled with most and it was hard for me to get through was definitely like my confidence because everyone was 4 years older. You're playing girls that are 18 or 19 and you're 14. So it's definitely a mentality thing. You have to be confident up there and, everything. You have to just go up to the box thinking, I am going to get a hit. I'm going to get a hit. And so I think that's the main thing that I've been trying to push for them is, to stay positive and have a good mindset.
We see you now as a ultra confident hitter, especially at the plate. What kind of things help you build those confidence over the 4 years of your career?
Yeah. Well, earlier when I was an underclassman, I struggled a lot with confidence up to the plate. I had worked really hard on my fundamentals, but it was just a mental thing that when I stepped up in the box, it's just confidence. I wasn't really there. And now I feel like this year I made it so that like senior year, this is all I have left. It's my last year. So I'm just going to go out there with the right mindset and like I'm going to get a hit. That's what I tell myself when I step in the box or else I won't. Like it's just a mental thing. And I think that and becoming an upperclassman has kind of led me to gain the right mindset, I feel like.
When you came into this year, like you said, it was your last ride and you wanted to make it kind of the best, make it the one that you could treasure. How did you kind of deal with the emotions of all the last that senior year can bring? Last home game, last time playing this team, last bus rides, things like that. How have you handled all the emotions that senior year can bring?
Yeah. Well, my teammates, we've been playing together since we were like 8. So it's been really hard for us. And I'm always the one to bring it up like, hey guys, this could be our last practice together or, whatever. But it's definitely hard for me because I've grown up with all these girls and we've created great bonds through the sport. And so it's definitely going to be difficult when it's over to move on from it.
The senior class is so big. There's 8 of you. What's it like being a part of a group that has so many fantastic leaders that bring kind of different leadership qualities to the table, each of them?
Yeah, it's really great. I feel like we're so close, but at this point, we're like a family, and everyone has a role on the team, and we all do a great job of playing our role, whether it's on or off the field. And it's just like this perfect little, every piece of the puzzle is filled. So we are just like, it's perfect. It's like we're a family. I love it.
Every team that has a special season like this can look back on maybe one game or one time where they kind of realized that they were putting together something pretty special. Is there a time that you can remember in this season where maybe it was a game or maybe it was just a week or a stretch where you guys really like looked at each other and said, this is happening. This is something that's really coming together well?
Yeah, I feel like I don't remember who we were playing, but it was around like the 3rd game of our season. We were kind of starting to realize that, all the potential that we have as a team. Coach had been telling us since the beginning that we were a great team, and he was like, oh, like, you're going to make it far in tournament. I believe in you guys. But, like, we kind of felt like that's just something every coach says and that, they have to say that. But then as the season progressed, we started to just, like, believe it for ourselves and believe in our potential.
How much momentum did winning the AAC, that first goal that you had, how much did that guy give you guys? I know you tied with Fitch and everyone talks about the whole tie thing, but you were still good enough to not lose the AAC and get the shared championship. So what kind of confidence and momentum did that give you going into tournaments?
Yeah, that gave us a lot of momentum because it's a great feeling that we, tied the AAC and it was our main goal. So it gives us a lot of confidence that we could reach our next goal.
I want to take you back to winning the regional final and what that moment was like for you and what were some of the first emotions that came into your head in the final out of that game?
Yeah. Well, when we won, I was obviously really excited because we've worked really hard to get to this point, and I feel like my whole team was very excited. I ran up to Milena, I gave her a big hug, and then Leah came over. She was crying, and it was just very emotional for us because we worked so hard.
Final out, who was the first person you were looking to try to go and celebrate with?
Oh, definitely Milena. She's done so good this year. I'm just so happy for her. She's had a great season.
you get to play defense behind someone like Milena, and I'm sure there are times when it gets kind of not boring, but you're not getting a lot of balls hit your way. She gets in that groove where she's striking people out.
Right.
What's that like staying engaged during those moments?
It's definitely hard to stay focused because she strikes a lot of girls out, so not a lot gets put in play. But I definitely try to stay ready because you never know when that one or two those two balls are going to be hit to you in a game. It's coming at some point, but you have to stay focused for the whole game. That's definitely difficult.
When a teammate is having a season like that, obviously it brings a lot of eyes to your program because everyone's not just talking about Melina Toth, but talking about the way this Canfield team is playing and how they're looking. What's that been like for you guys to kind of have the extra attention, and with that comes a little bit of extra expectations from the outside world?
Yeah, it's definitely different. We're not familiar with all of this. I mean, even like the Fitch game, for example, my mom told me that random people that didn't even follow us were coming to watch the game just because it was a good game with two good pitchers. So like Melena's been great, and it's just kind of it's different to be. There's just a lot of attention on our team this year, but I'm really happy for her because she's doing so good this year, and I'm proud of her.
Let's talk about some of the things that you look and reflect on in your softball career. When did you start it? What are some of your first memories that you have with this sport?
I started when I was probably 6 or 7, and I played with the seniors that the other 8 of them. We played on a crush team with all our parents coaching us, and it was, that's when we first got to know each other, and now we're like family.
You put in so much time. You obviously love the sport. When did you kind of fall in love with softball? When was the moment that you realized that it was something that you really wanted to put focus on and put a lot of your time into?
Yeah, definitely when I started playing travel. My travel team, I've been playing with them for 6 years, and they made it so fun for me, and it made the sport so much it's just so much better with them, and I definitely started to fall in love with it when I started playing with them on the
When you
weekend.
play travel, it builds your softball community. It builds your friendships outside of your Canfield, team. Who are some of your best friends that don't wear the Canfield uniform that you've grown to love and support with travel ball?
I mean, my best friends are my whole team. I love them all, but I definitely got really close with like the Poland girls, like Mary and Katie, Dito, and Red. I love them all so much.
When you think of the impact that the travel ball has had on your career and being exposed to such good competition and good teammates on your side, how much do you think that's helped you grow as a softball player?
Yeah, it definitely has. It gives me a lot of endurance, I feel like, because we play 4 games one day and then 3 games the next on the weekends. It'd be really packed, and it gives me endurance and long softball days. It grows us as players and kind of just makes me love it more.
We got to talk about Coach Kernan taking his first year here at Canfield. What's that been like? What do you think he's brought to this program? What do you think are some of the things that he's given you guys as the extra jolt into this regional championship?
Yeah, Coach has been great. He's extremely competitive, which is awesome because it helps us. He wants to win, and he's extremely intense, and it's good for us. He pushes us and gives us that drive. He helps us with our mentality also and like our confidence. He's been really awesome.
Extremely intense. I like that you use that word because
Yeah.
we know that very well at Coach Kernan. What were some of your first impressions when you first met him and some of the first meetings with Coach Kernan?
Well, he kind of was up straight, and he told us that he is intense, and he is going to put that pressure on us, and he is gonna kind of just like be very vocal and make sure that we know how much he cares about the sport. But I think he does it because he cares about us, and he knows that we have the potential. But I was definitely intimidated at first because it's a new coach, and he's obviously intense and extremely competitive at practice. So.
When a new coach comes in, usually it's the seniors that can set the tone on whether or not a team will buy into what the coach is selling. How easy was it for you and your fellow seniors to really buy into what Coach Kernan was trying to bring into this program?
Yeah, I mean, we could tell off the bat that he was going to be a great coach, and we knew that he knows a lot about the sport, and that he was going to set us up for success.
You've had about a little under a week since you won regionals and you're going to state. What has this kind of week been like, trying to, hold back the anticipation, trying to make it a normal week, but still being so excited about your trip to Firestone Stadium?
Yeah, I've definitely had a lot of nerves. I mean, we've never experienced this as a team. It's super exciting, but we just wanted to stay focused at practice. But there's also a lot going on in our lives, the seniors, because we also just graduated, so it's just like a lot happening at once. But we're trying to keep calm and just like let it happen.
With graduation, we have to talk about your future goals and where you kind of see yourself in your future. What are some things that you're going to be doing after graduation and after you kind of take the next step out of high school?
So I'm going to be going to Kent State University, and I'm going to be studying exercise science, and then eventually I want to become a physical therapist.
When you decided that that was going to be your track, that was going to be the career goal that you wanted to go into, what were there anything in the life experiences or anything that kind of drew you to that field? What were some of the things that made you make that decision that that's where you wanted to be?
Honestly, it kind of all started from softball because I love the sport, and I kind of wanted to base my career off of something dealing with physical activity. And then I thought it was perfect because I just wanted to do something that could help other people.
What kind of ways do you see yourself keeping softball as a part of your life? Can we see maybe a Coach Panunzio in the future, or maybe, a private lessons Panunzio or anything like that? What kind of things are you going to do to keep softball in your life?
Yeah, I definitely think that in the future I would definitely enjoy being a coach.
You've been coached by a lot of great people. What kind of things do you think you would bring to the table as a coach? What would be your coaching style?
I think that I would be on the competitive side. I mean, I'm a very competitive person and I want to win. So
Do you think players would enjoy your practices, or would they not enjoy your practices?
I don't know about that. I don't know. I think I would be extremely competitive and I would probably get annoying at some point.
We look forward to Coach's Corners with Coach Panunzio in the
Yeah.
future. Before I let you go, I want to give you the chance to give a shout out to your support system and all the people that have been there for you throughout your career.
Yeah, so I'd like to shout out my friends and family. Obviously, they've been with me through everything and supported me. Definitely my coaches, all of them. My coach Campbell, he's coached me and growing up and allowed me to grow. And my coaches now, Coach Hernan, Barb, and BZ and CJ. And then my teammates, because everyone's done a great job this year. I love them so much, and I'm proud of everyone. And then my hitting coach also, Coach Flickinger. He's taught me a lot, and yeah.
All right, Gianna, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it. Good luck in state on Thursday or tomorrow, however you want to put it, at Firestone Stadium. We look forward to seeing you there, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Anthony Herwig here with a Canfield softball player profile. I am joined by Kara Spencer. Kara, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
First thing we have to do is reflect on this wonderful season. I know Canfield last year got to the regionals, fell short in regionals, and everyone was hungry coming into this year to get back to this level and then take that next step. What were some of the things that you reflect on this season, getting ready for the year, being hungry throughout the season, setting those goals, and now obviously achieving them?
Just being ready to go and play and get at it. Just working hard for this. We've been working really hard since like late August, all the way through winter and fall. Just been really great.
This year, softball had a little bit more time to work in the offseason. The OHSAA gave a little bit more time to teams, which means you were able to play together in the months of the winter and in the Watch Center and Sluggers. And Coach Kernan always talks about how much that helped this team. From your perspective, what was it like being able to spend even more time with the softball team when you got the chance to and bond even more, like you said, when you were able to play more in the winter?
Yeah, I think playing in the winter, we made really great bonds with each other. Like, I became really close with the underclassmen this year, and it's great playing on the field with them this year. And during, the winter, playing at Watts, we played so many games throughout, on weekends and Sundays. It was just great just playing with them.
I want to talk about the underclassmen a bit. With the 8 seniors, sometimes it might be intimidating for a freshman or even a player that is new to the varsity level to come on and take that next step. But you guys have always been seamless. Every time we talk to them, they talk about how easy the seniors have made it to come on this team and make an impact. From your perspective, what has it been like to bring on new players, whether they be freshmen or, like I said, players that are new to the varsity level, and kind of really seamlessly gel them into the standard of this Canfield softball team?
I just try to make them feel comfortable and like try to help them out whenever like they're down on themselves, or if they make a mistake, I tell them like it's gonna be okay, like get the next play, or don't think about anything too much. Just trying to make them feel comfortable.
Does it make you reflect on your freshman year a bit when you see freshmen like Jenna Treveri and Leah Figueroa come on and be instantly confident? Do you look back on your freshman experience as well?
Yeah, well, actually, my freshman year, COVID happened, unfortunately, so I didn't get to really have that opportunity with them. But when we worked out in the winter, it was definitely, they made us feel comfortable too. So,
That's the thing about your class. Your freshman year is really your sophomore year, the first year you're able to get on the field as a team. That's obviously something that every senior that is in your class has had to go through.
yeah.
Now that we're a couple of years removed from that whole, shenanigans of
Mhm.
quarantine and COVID-19, what kind of things do you reflect on learning from that experience and trying to carry into now, the rest of your softball career?
Just don't really take things for granted. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when your last game's going to be. Just always work hard every day and just don't take things for granted.
One of the things about senior year is you're dealing with a lot of laughs, a lot of emotions. Eventually, your last game is going to happen. Hopefully, you'll win your last game, but eventually, you're going to have to hang up the cleats for Canfield softball. How have you been handling all the emotions that senior year can bring? All the laughs that you have to do.
Oh, it's really tough, but I just go through each day trying to like make the most of everything and just try to have the best laughs with all my friends and teammates.
What are some of your favorite memories that you've made off the field with this team that you treasure a lot and you're taking in this last senior season?
In April we went to Myrtle Beach. That was really fun. I think we made our bond stronger there and we really gelled together as a team there. And winning there was pretty good.
I want you to give us an inside look into this dugout because we only get to see you guys on the field. What's the personality of this Canfield team like? What are some things that you can tell us about the team inside the dugout, outside the field, and some things that you guys do to keep loose and stay having fun?
We cheer really loud. We try to cheer our best really loudly and make a whole bunch of noise, just rattle the other team, trying to get their pitcher like uncomfortable. If we come out of the dugout, we pat everyone on the back. We give them high fives. Just try to make them like keep it going to bat.
One of the things we were going through pictures of the regional final, and I saw this. I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's like a big totem pole, maybe with a Canfield head on it, a Cardinal head on it. Can you take us through what that is and where that came from and what's going on with that?
So one day at practice, Mrs. Kernan just brought this. It's like this cardinal, looks like a puppet kind of, and it has a bucket hat on it and this like cardinal scarf. And we take it to our games and we hold it. His name is Craig. So yeah, it's just kind of like our little like mascot.
It's the team mascot, Craig.
Yeah.
Is the bucket head supposed to represent Coach Kernan? I'm guessing.
Yes, we got those bucket hats actually for Myrtle Beach and just we put it on there.
Who named him Craig? Was there a reason why you guys decided Craig?
We were just looking through like C names, like because our cardinal mascot is called Big Red, and we were just kind of like thinking of like C names for like Canfield, so we found Craig.
When you look back on this year, you've already said that you've bonded a lot with this team. Who are some players that maybe you didn't know as well last year that you've really grown to know a lot better this year through all the experiences that you guys have had?
One person is Sydney Lutz. She's such a sweet and like kind person. She plays second base. She's really good. Another person would be Jenna Treveri, Leah, Marina. They're just all great. I love them. I love giving them rides to places or whatever. Just yeah.
Are you the one that they always go to for rides, or are you like the team chauffeur?
Yeah, I guess.
Who's one person that you kind of wouldn't get on in a ride in a car with if they're driving on the team?
I have to say Faith Morrell maybe. She can act a little wild a little.
when you think about some of the things that you've been able to accomplish throughout your career, what are some things that you're the most proud of? Like the things that you've maybe worked the hardest at that you've accomplished so far that you are really proud of when you reflect?
Just trying to get like the most at bats, like trying to make the most of my at bats when I'm in there, and hitting off like wonderful pitchers like Sydney Watts, Gabby Gratishar from Champion, just all of those pitchers. It's pretty awesome if you like try to get the bat on the ball from them.
You've been a player that at times has come off the bench and just come up with really good pinch hit at bats and things like that. What's that like for you to come out, and just come into a game and whether it be like a pinch runner role or a pinch hitter role when you're not starting, and be ready to go at a moment's notice? What's that been like for you?
I just have to mentally prepare myself every game for like being whatever my name is called, showing my role out there. That's really important to me, and just making the most out of it, trying to get a runner on base.
You got to be really confident to be able to do that. What are some things that build your confidence, keep your confidence? What are some ways that you like to do that?
I just like to go into my bats with an open mindset. I don't really think about anything. I just try not to be overconfident, but I try not to have like not a whole lot of confidence. I just try to like relax in there and just tell myself that I can do this and get a base hit.
8 seniors on this team. What's it like to have a group of so many great leaders with you and so many different kind of mindsets and different ways to lead on in your class?
It's wonderful. I've just been playing with them since I've been like 6 years old, T-ball days. We've played many games together. I know during like the Little League World Series, we've always like made it to state. And, like this is like our time to like finally like show like what we can do with this group.
How special was senior night, being able to share that with all the rest of your seniors and to be able to have that moment with them and also get a win on senior day as
Yeah.
well?
It was really great. It was fun, having all my family there, just cheering me on, and all of my friends there, supporting me throughout the way.
I want to take you back to the last out of that regional championship and when you kind of were able to let all that emotion out. Who was the first person that you looked for to celebrate with?
I think it was Leah, actually. I remember her. She just came up to me and gave me a big hug, and we were just so happy and excited. Like all that adrenaline was rushing.
That was not a game that you guys had in hand at any point. It was a high stress game with Marlington, 2-1. You got the win. When you finally did get the win, was it even more of a kind of a, exhale of all those emotions because it was always in question?
Yes. All those emotions just like rushed out of me. I was like, this is like really happening. Like we're going to state. Like we better win it all. Like, yeah.
You better.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you did to kind of relax yourself? I mean, I know it probably took a long time to finish celebrating that regional championship, but you still got work to do at Firestone Stadium tomorrow. So, what were some things that you did to, put that away and refocus on state?
Just working. We've been working really hard this week in practice, hitting wise, fielding wise, just putting in that hard work.
I'm sure this week has been a whirlwind for this team, not only because you're going to state, but also you've had a lot of media coverage. You had the live show at Coco's Pizza last night. It's a whirlwind. What has it been like for you to kind of go through this week and get all this media attention and all the people that want to know like what it feels like to go to regionals and kind of have the light shined on Canfield softball?
It's really exciting. I don't think that like softball gets that much attention as it should be. And this is like our time to finally show like we're good and like we can do this and go all the way.
You spent a lot of time in this sport. Obviously, you love it. Talk about your love story with softball and what are some of the things that you remember are the reasons why you fell in love with the sport?
Well, basically I've been playing travel with these girls for growing up since I was 6, Canfield Crush. That's just been really like a moment where we all started like bonding together and being friends. And then just growing up playing travel on the weekends was really showing how much I love the sport.
And now we have to talk about your future as well outside of Canfield. You're graduating. What are some of the things that you're doing in your future that you're so excited for and taking the next chapter in your life?
I'm going to YSU. I'm going to study education with special ed, and I just really hope to, be successful and find like the right job out there.
When you were thinking back, maybe sophomore year, junior year, about what career you wanted to go into and what what major you wanted to take in college, what were some things that made you choose education and special education as that track?
Well, my mom is a teacher, so she kind of really influenced me about all the benefits of it. And I did think about physical therapy, but my mom just really influenced me on being a teacher.
What are some things that she taught you throughout your life that you want to instill in your students one day when you become a teacher?
She just taught me to be have fun and create bonds with people, because you never know when they're not going to be around one day.
I'm guessing if you want to be a teacher, you've also had a lot of teachers at Canfield that have impacted your journey. Who are some that come to mind that really helped you through high school and that you really kind of look back on, and maybe one day when you're a teacher, you'll lean on them and say, "Hey, what are some things that you did with me, and what are the lessons that you taught me?"
Mrs. Angelo, she was my nat and phys teacher. She was really good. She just taught me to take things like one day at a time. Like, you're gonna get there, just make the most out of everything.
All right, let's talk. Get to know you a little bit off the field. Obviously, you put a lot of time in the softball. What are some things you like doing outside of softball to, entertain yourself, hobbies, things like that?
I like to go shopping a lot, spending time with my family and friends. I like to do art sometimes. My mom's an art teacher, so that's.
All right, when you talk shopping, are you someone that shops too much, or are you able to control yourself?
I shop too much a little.
Where's that one store that, like, if someone puts you into, they better not give you your credit card, or it's gonna be a long day?
Probably Target.
Have you ever gone into Target and this, like, you have one list of things you want to get and you get a bunch of other things that you didn't have on your list?
Yes, definitely.
What do you think is one thing overall that you spend more money on than you should? Like, what are some things that if you see it, you're gonna buy it?
Definitely clothes a lot, or makeup.
What was your last impulse buy? What was the last thing that you saw and you instantly said, "I gotta have it"?
I think, I don't know. I think I like to drink Red Bulls, so probably that.
When you think about some of the things that you like to do to relax, what are some of your relaxation tactics?
I like to listen to music. Just gets me in the groove before games too. On long bus rides, just put in my AirPods and listen to music.
All right, Kara, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to thank your support system and all the people that have been there for you throughout the years.
All right. Thank you to all my family and friends that support me, and my coaches, Coach Kernan, Coach Barb, Coach Beasy, and Mrs. Kernan for providing all the snacks.
All right, Kara, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck at state on Thursday, and we look forward to talking again real soon.
All right. Thank you.
Anthony Hartwig here. I'm a special presentation of kind of a South Range softball. We could call it a player profile. We could call it Legends of the Past. Whatever you want to call it. We're joined by Kerrigan Young and now, used to be Kerrigan Yannick when she played for South Range. Kerrigan, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. We got you on because South Range is heading to state, and you were a part of the first South Range softball team that went to a state tournament. And my first question for you is, when you reflect on that season in 2016, obviously it was a big year for South Range. The soccer team went to state in the fall, and this athletics program was starting to really build a lot of momentum. Going to state your junior year in 2016, what was that season like for you? Now we got two of you.
Am I back in? It knocked me out for some reason. Ysn.
I didn't know it even knocked you out. I couldn't tell. You there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. Did you hear the last question?
I did not.
Okay, so basically, what I want to ask you about first is just the 2016 season and going to state and what it was like for you to ride that roller coaster at South Range and get this team all the way to a state tournament.
It was an amazing feeling. That's one of those things you look forward to as a young girl and building into a community. So that was such an honor to be able to do that with some of my best friends that I grew up playing softball with. So to see these girls now doing it, it's so exciting, and it brings back so many great memories. And I hope that they're loving every second of it just as much as I did back in the day.
Back in 2016, the softball team wasn't, didn't come out of nowhere. The Raiders had plenty of district championships, plenty of regional appearances, plenty of talent that have come through that program. But you were the first team that took it to the next level and got it to state. And now it's been there 2 times since. What do you think was the big kind of momentum shift in this program in 2016 to take it from regional championship or regional appearances to a regional championship and now, constantly knocking on the door to state?
I think at the time, playing with the same girls for so ever long, we knew we had the potential and we all wanted it. And I think once in 2016, I think once we made that break, it became really real for the community, for the South Range community, that this softball program can be something so much more. And honestly, we have to give kudos to the years above us. Stevie Taylor was a senior when I was a freshman, and she really set the foundation as well to work hard, to not just be okay with mediocrity and to keep pushing. And so I think once we got there in 2016, we just kept fighting for it even more. And I think the younger girls have really kept that going.
You talk about players of the past. Your sisters were also on South Range teams that were also pretty dang impressive. Madison went to the regional championship her junior year, went to the regional semifinals her senior year. You look at, Dee Dee had really great years with South Range. What were some things that you leaned on them in this tournament run, in this state tournament run that you guys had in 16?
Growing up, I was always, playing softball with my sisters. So having them there, and I think as soon as we started to make that run, my sister was in Tiffin at the time. She was teaching and coaching there, and she made the drive up almost every single game to be there to support me. My sister Darian was always there for me. So knowing that I had their support and that they were just as big as supporters as my parents, gave me a little extra confidence boost that I didn't know I needed.
The things that we've been asking these players a lot this week are what's the experience like when you get to a state, all the eyes turn to you. You're the last show in town, all the media attention gets turned to you. For you guys making the first trip to state in 16, what was that like from your perspective? All of a sudden, all these eyes are on you. Everyone's giving you guys all this attention because you went to state. What was that like for you guys?
It was surreal. It was incredible, but it was also kind of scary, because being a part of one of the first teams to do that in a while, all eyes are on you. So if you make a mistake, sometimes you feel like all the pressure's on you, but it's not. It's just a surreal moment, and to be able to soak it in, that's what matters. You want to live in the moment, because that's kind of what brings you back to the memories, what matters.
All right, so you guys won the state semifinals, and you won it in very dominating fashion. You didn't really look nervous at all. What was it like stepping on Firestone for the first time that year, or for the first time in state? I think you played on it that year earlier, if I'm not mistaken. But what was it like to step on Firestone Stadium at that stage and in that atmosphere and really just, obviously play the game you love on one of the biggest stadiums that you can find in the country?
The best way I could put it is incredible. It's an awesome feeling. When I was younger, I used to go there and watch the Akron Racers play. So even though I've played on that field in the past, playing on it for a state semifinals or state championship, it just gave it this extra edge. And I'll never forget that feeling. It was an adrenaline adrenaline rush. It was nerves, excitement. It was everything. And I wouldn't trade a thing for the world.
You were in the same situation that Julie Stakowicz is in now. You're going to be in the circle for that game. You were in the circle for both. Julie looks like she's probably going to be the starter for both the way that she's been pitching. What kind of things would you tell her? Obviously, you do coach her. What kind of things do you tell her about, this experience and what it's like to be in the circle in a state atmosphere and what she can expect out of these next 2 games?
I tell her, and I would tell her, to just do what she knows how to do, soak in the moment, and to have fun. I think that's something I constantly am telling her, even in games, to have fun. Because when you start to put all that pressure on yourself and you can't enjoy the moment, that's when it doesn't become a game that is you're just living, and it becomes something that you're trying to force, and you can't do that with softball. Softball doesn't care if you're having a good day or a bad day.
You are back in the coaching world. You're coaching, you're helping your sister coach at Columbiana, but then you also coach this private lessons whenever people need the help. What's that been like for you to give back to the sport of softball after you've played it for so long?
I love it. It reminds me why I love softball, and seeing these girls that put in so much time and effort, and they want it, they're determined. It makes it worth it. It makes all the struggles you went through, or I went through when I was younger, frustrations, more than worth it. And to see the program and to see this community, not even just South Range, but all of the softball communities in this area are amazing. I go out and I watch some of my girls, and I watch other girls who I don't coach, and I'm so impressed. And my only thing I would tell those girls is, don't give up your dreams. Keep fighting for it. If anyone tells you can't do it, use that to fuel your fire.
You've watched this South Range team, a handful of times this season. What kind of things do you see that reminds you of your team in 2016? What kind of similarities do you see in both squads, both rosters?
The tightness of the classes. This senior class is, I believe there's 3 or 4 of them. At the time when I was in high school and we went to state, there was only 1 senior. And I remember we wanted it so bad for her. We did not give up behind her. Morgan Zoper she was just a great teammate. And when you have such a great senior class, everyone wants to fight for them. Everyone wants to make it worth the season. So that's definitely something I see within them. And I mean, I think it's Maddie Dato in center field, and man, does she remind me of Felicia Gaeta. It's awesome. I love watching them.
Fee saved you guys in that regional championship. I'll never forget that diving catch in extra innings. And Maddie has saved the Raiders through her run plenty of times as well. So that's a great comparison there.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
One of the things that was also the same is the coaching staff. Coach DeRose still there, Coach Farron's still there, and they've been there for a long time, even Coach your sisters. What kind of things do you think they bring to this program from your perspective that make it so consistently good?
They bring a lot of heart. I mean, Coach DeRose and Coach Farron, they've coached both my sisters, so I've watched them from a young age. And then playing for them, they care a lot, and it's not just about a sport to them. They care about the girls. I have relationship with them still now. They both came to my wedding. They're coaches that I look forward to talking to. I always talk to them about previous players or current players. So they're just the type of coaches you want in a program. They build a program. They know how to make girls want it, and they deserve a win. I hope they get this state win.
I know you're entwined in a lot of other communities now with your coaching and coaching different girls, but South Range will always be home. How proud are you of just the team and being able to see the team that you led for so many years go back to state and be as successful as it is?
So proud. I coached Julie, and I've known Jamie Farron since she was younger, Kelly Zolik since she was younger. So seeing these girls accomplish what they want. It's just amazing. And my sister does lessons with Samantha Suzanne. And so to see these girls get their dreams coming true, or even if this wasn't necessarily what they thought where their senior season was going to become, it's amazing. And honestly, these girls deserve it. And to see South Range coming up, and even their younger teams, they put in so much work. I think South Range is going to be, I hope, at least a powerhouse for the next few years. And the senior class, they're to thank for it, because they keep building the program. Every senior class, they put in the work, they're going to make the program even better.
Anyone that looks through pictures of 2016 will never see you without the Boston Red Sox hat on. For people that aren't familiar with the story behind that or how that became a thing, we can't let an interview with Kerrigan Yannick go without talking about your lucky hat. So we got to talk about it. What were some things that led to that, and obviously you wore it all the way up into the state championship?
Yeah, so I think we were in Florida. I didn't have a visor, hat, or sunglasses. Not Florida, Myrtle Beach. I was very ill prepared. And I took my sister's hat at the time. It was a Boston Red Sox hat. I didn't think anything of it, but we were playing a really good team. I think it was like a Grove City team, and we ended up beating them. And it was probably one of the best games I pitched in my high school career. So then I kind of just kept wearing it, and I am a very superstitious person. So once I started wearing it and we kept winning, I did not take that thing off. It was so dirty. It was gross. It smelled like straight sweat. And I remember a few times some of my friends at the time, Cody Taylor, Lydia Baird, and Morgan Smith, they're like, Kerrigan, that hat is disgusting. Put on a South Range hat. I'm like, I can't. I can't give up the superstition. I got to keep going. So even if it wasn't pretty looking, I had it on my head every day.
It worked. When you think of the relationships that you built and the teammates and the friendships that you still have long after you graduated from South Range, and then you see the relationships that are building with this program, what can you say to the high school relationships you build? Obviously, you played in college and you probably built friendships in college too. But what's special about this level and playing with the girls at a high school level that really builds friendships that do last forever?
Yeah, so a lot of those friendships, I started when we were in T-ball. So for them to go from T-ball to 10U, 12U to high school, and then to still have those friendships and be able to talk about sports still, it's something special. And it just really shows that when you connect with people, or sports have a great way of connecting you with the people who mean the most in your life, or will stay around for the longest. And just the other day, Cody, Lydia, and I were talking about Oklahoma's softball, and we still talk sports. So to have that, it's something special. And I think seeing these girls I listen to, obviously some of the girls I give lessons to talk about college sports, and it's awesome. It makes you realize that softball is more than just a sport to a lot of girls. It becomes a second love, as some may say, and it gives you the opportunity that a lot of things don't necessarily just happen every day. And so to have softball as a second love, at least for me, has given me more than anything.
This team's playing Wheelersburg, who is the team that unfortunately ended your run in the state championship. How fired up are you that South Range gets another chance at Wheelersburg and maybe get you guys some revenge?
I'm very excited. I hope these girls come out and they are hungry for it, because Wheelersburg back in 2016, they were a solid team. I can't throw any jabs or anything, because they were solid 1 through 9, every position. So I hope these girls come out and they get some revenge for us.
All right, Kerrigan, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us, give us a little bit of insight on South Range's first state tournament run and how much the ripples of that team are still felt here on this program, here and now their third state tournament appearance. We thank you so much for your time, And we look forward to talking again real soon.
Thank you.
Well, that was a heck of a show, huh, Scotty? Woo!
Yeah, it was. What a show, man.
What a show. We had 3 great interviews. I hope you enjoyed them all. Thank you to Gianna Panunzio and Kara Spencer for their time getting ready for the state semifinal tomorrow. And thank you again to Kerrigan Yannick, now Kerrigan Young, for taking the time just to talk a little bit about her career at South Range and making that run to a state championship appearance in 2016 and really setting the tone for this program that has now been there 2 other times since. So it was a great conversation, all 3 of them. Scotty, that's how we're going to sign off. We are not going to have a show tomorrow or Friday. We're going to make room for those state tournament games. I will be in Firestone tomorrow with DJ to call South Range and Canfield's games. Ty Bartel will have you covered on Friday at 12:30 as Fitch takes on Lebanon. Want to also remind you that the baseball games are in action as well. Regional semifinals tomorrow night and baseball championships the next night. So it goes regional semis, regional championships the next day. That's going to be a fun time. All those games will, for the regionals for baseball, will still be pay-per-view, still one payment of $9.99 gets you all the baseball games, but the state games for South Range, Canfield, and Fitch for softball will be free because they will be audio only. So we are not able to do our video broadcast because of video rights that are shared by the OHSAA, but we will have the audio stream for you for that, and those will be free. So that's all the lowdown. We hope to see you guys at Firestone Stadium. And if you can't make it to Firestone, then we definitely hope. By the way, Lakeview South Range baseball comments in the comment section. But we definitely hope that we see you down there. And if we don't, we definitely hope you're able to tune into our broadcast for state semifinals. And hopefully when we come back on Monday, we'll have plenty of state champions to talk about. Scotty Mincher, any last thoughts before we get out of here?
I just wanted to say it was just really something that I appreciated hearing all these interviews today. So much good stuff, and we've talked about it before. These athletes you've interviewed mature beyond their years and just so insightful, what they bring to the table. So I really enjoyed it, and thank you for once again for letting me be a part of it, Anthony.
Scotty, you're always on. You're always a part of it. And we'll have you back next Wednesday again for another episode of Running Point. I'll be back on Monday from 1 to 2. Until then, enjoy all the fun that's about to happen Thursday, Friday, hopefully Saturday on ysnlive.com. We'll see you on Monday on Running Point.